Given the large body of research like, Nee, Patrick, Vitor, Neighbors papers, and Finkel, Burnett, and Scissors, and everything, and the things that they found in their research, if a woman ghosts you, how you should respond is just to simply know that her whole romantic future is going to be one of short-term flings. You should create a second account so that you can watch her bitch and then basically mock her and make fun of her romantic misery, and everything, and invest in coke foods like chocolate and ice cream and everything so that you can get richer off her romantic failures and misery. Because given the research, if an individual wants intensely passionate short-term flings, a belief in soulmates will serve them well because that's what they produce and everything, and that is the romantic future and destiny of some willing to ghost. I already know this about them. I mean, given what psychologists have uncovered, strong beliefs and everything. So if an individual ghosts me, it's likely that she basically decided that it wasn't meant to be. And I'm fine with that. I don't really care. I wasn't really clinging to it then. I mean, I didn't know her that well, but the thing is, I already know so much about her and her future because she was willing to do this, to push somebody away in this regard. Because I guess, she basically thinks that, if it's not perfect, that, already that, it's not worth putting any effort in whatsoever. Keep thinking that way, bitch. See how it fucking works out for you. You'll find out real soon that I'm right about all of this. You know, I'm going to. I'm just gonna watch. To create a second account and see if you actually pipe up. About all this and cry into the ether of the internet. What's what I laugh about it because you deserve this. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, let's scroll to the bottom here, and everything. Overall, the message is clear. Looking for perfect compatibility and soulmates kills the motivation to work in successful relationships with good partners. So basically, this is a woman, if she ghosts you, she expects the relationship to be perfect, perfectly compatible, and that it will basically fall into her lap without her having to put actual work and effort into the relationship. She's lazy about love. She doesn't want to put in work. She wants, she expects that if when that person arrives and everything in her life, that it's just going to fall into place and everything is going to be flawless for her and that, she's not going to have any compatibility problems or challenges and everything because she doesn't want to work at anything. And this is, you know, it's such a massive red flag right out the gate about a woman to see this. She's basically she thinks that that perfect person is just going to fall into her life whether she puts in any effort or not, basically, and that's what she's hoping for and expecting and everything. And I can't think of a person who's less lovable. Who I mean, every bit of romantic success that I've experienced over my life, I've earned. I've put in the hard work to bond with the women in question and everything. I've struggled towards it. I've had to curb some of my more aggressive instincts. I've had to calm down. I've had to, not, try not to take it out on them when I'm working on tech and they're trying to get my attention and all those little things that happen when you're not really mad at them but somehow something slips anyways and that stuff. I've had to work at that kind of thing and everything and put in that kind of work and I've worked and worked and worked on those kinds of things and day after day after day I earned my partner's affection through the effort that I put in on fronts like that. And a woman that has these destiny beliefs is not willing to she's not motivated to work at cultivating a successful relationship with partners at all. She just thinks that it's going to be perfect without her having to work at it at all, and like efforts to red flag and that she's not going to put any of it in and everything. And that's so incredibly toxic and unlovable right out the gate right there. But the very fact that she pressed the block button already tells me so very much about how this is going to go for her, and everything. I already know how it's going to go. A bunch of short-term flings because that's what this kind of thinking produces. It's what it results in and everything. The thinking, and I know this because the fact that she did it, indicates very strongly that she's gonna cling to the romantic destiny set of beliefs. And if you think that they're destined, why would you put in any effort at all? Because you expect it to just fall into your lap. I mean, could you think of anything that's more unlovable? I'm entitled to it. It's just gonna be handed to me. Anyways, me, Patrick, Peter, and neighbors and everything. You know, and Finkel, Burnett, and Scissors. I mean, this is in the large body of research, and women who do this, and the people who act this way and engage in this behavior, they've ignored this body of research. They've not looked into it. Sorry, babes. Your beliefs about romantic destiny. Given the research that's come out, if an individual wants intensely passionate short-term flings, then clinging to your beliefs will serve you well. But if you want, an actual law, and if an individual is repeatedly falling in love with the quote perfect partner only to be disappointed and dumping them soon after, then their belief in soulmates is the problem. It may cause them to give up when things are not perfect, but may still be good or great. It may motivate them not to compromise, work, or change when others don't love them for being exactly as they are, ultimately continually to drive them to believe that life would be more satisfying with someone else and endlessly look for a more compatible partner rather than working to fit with and be satisfied by a very good one. In the end, it's a bit of a cruel joke. A belief in soulmates may prevent individuals from finding the very relationships they think that and believe that they're destined to have. And so, it's this belief, it's this idea of soulmates that basically leads people to have, and it's strongly correlated with positive feelings towards ghosting. Negative feelings are much more strongly correlated with people who believe in romantic growth. So, if a woman does this to you, know that her whole romantic future is going to be one of short-term flings and everything, and rejoice in it. Point and laugh at her failures, and know that she deserves it because she doesn't want to work at all at cultivating, and putting in effort to actually be a lovable person enough to, earn somebody else's affection.